Hey guys, welcome back to Luxury Galore. Today we'll talk about why AMD will beat NVIDIA. Let's head into it. What's AMD? AMD, or Advanced Micro Devices, is your second biggest name in the sphere for personal computing, serving as Intel's singular rival from the CPU market. The two are always pushing the limits of the x86 and x64 processors throughout the market, with the recent launching of Ryzen bringing AMD back to the contest. This is a struggle that has been happening for a long time, and it appears as heated as ever. So where do images encounter it? Well, that's where Radeon enters the picture. What's NVIDIA? NVIDIA emerged in the 90s as one of the several competitions in PC graphics, including 3DFX and ATI. Even though the GPU wars of the 90s have been fascinating, it led to a lot of acquisitions until just two opponents remained, NVIDIA and ATI. We clearly understand what occurred to ATI, but since then, NVIDIA has steadily improved the marketplace, transitioning to the PS3 360 eras to gain marketplace dominance over ATI before AMD acquired them. Besides PC graphics, nevertheless, NVIDIA is also making itself understood in different markets, most importantly, self-driving automobiles and AI. While both firms are interested in the cellular and console markets, NVIDIA has become more adventurous with its non-graphics excursions, probably because of their industry status. A short historical overview. A fast history of both businesses is a fantastic place to get started. AMD, or Advanced Micro Devices, has existed since 1969, almost 50 decades now. According to Santa Clara, California, the business got its start manufacturing microchips, frequently for different sellers. Through time, AMD has obtained other companies and sold off parts of its company. The two most notable of them are the buy of ATI Technologies in 2006, which eventually became AMD's GPU branch, and the selling of its production foundry branch in 2008 to Global Foundries. Here's the AMD many individuals are knowledgeable about now. A business that designs both CPUs and GPUs, also contains these components fabricated at one of the many areas, TSMC, Global Foundries, or Samsung. AMD's main products nowadays are sold under the Ryzen for the CPUs and Radeon under the GPU brands. NVIDIA has not been around quite so long, launched in 1993, and based on Santa Clara, NVIDIA concentrated on images from the start. Its first significant product was the Riva TNT in 1998, followed by the TNT2 after the same year. These were arguably the most successful all-in-one 2D and 3D graphic solutions around this moment. The GeForce 256 in 1999 became the first GPU or graphics processing unit because of the addition of hardware service for TNL, or Transform and Lightning, calculations. NVIDIA's GeForce manufacture has remained in place for almost 20 years, and is now, based on how you wish to count, in its 17th generation. NVIDIA is also a fabless firm, meaning it layouts chips but does not manufacture them, relying mostly on TSMC for GPU production, although Samsung also makes a number of those chips. Hardware. NVIDIA is sold on top due to the quality of the hardware. Their cards do not overheat up to AMD do. They also consume less electricity, resulting in a more efficient card. Additionally, they have a thinner design in contrast to AMD cards. It is not much of a variable, but the layout option may matter if installing the map on your PC. NVIDIA has a technological advantage over AMD in each variable. You should not dismiss AMD graphics cards though. They have a much better memory bandwidth in their low-cost tickets than NVIDIA sells at precisely the same price. While they overheat and consume more electricity than NVIDIA cards, understand the gap between both businesses is becoming smaller each year. AMD got a significant jump in their earnings when they released the 7nm workstation graphics card, which is the first ever of its type. Software. Regardless of the massive gap they have with their hardware, the two brands are tied with their applications. Both brands do their due diligence in giving people their money's value. They have proper drivers and user interfaces which match the bill when they are sold. NVIDIA has a small lead in the drivers, however. They have improved consistency and therefore are more secure overall. This can help your hardware upgraded along with your PC visuals optimized. AMD is not that far behind, however. NVIDIA has a small lead due to its reputation. Aside from that, however, NVIDIA has nothing going on due to their applications. This is apparent in their user interface. NVIDIA's interface appears obsolete, in contrast to its clean, modern port that AMD has. This produces the AMD control panel a lot easier to understand for those who aren't acquainted. NVIDIA's interface seems complex. This due to all the drop-down tabs. It's that makes navigation difficult. You won't understand what you're doing unless you have experience managing your applications. Performance and pricing. The primary question while talking GPUs is that the question of functionality. How does it dent in benchmarks? How and what type of operation can it handle in various resolutions? It's not possible to generalize with this topic since functionality varies wildly from model to model and based on the purchase price. If you look at budget versions, AMD was able to have the upper hand in this section, as their funding GPUs almost consistently outperformed whatever NVIDIA can offer in precisely the same price point. When comparing the most recent budget offerings from the firms, NVIDIA pulls slightly forward, though paradoxically, some of AMD's older Polaris-based RX 500 cards continue to be the best choices if you are pinching pennies, even since they provide an excellent price. The new RX 5500 XT is a little disappointing. the 4GB of $169 and 8GB of $199 variations of this card are on approximately even terms with NVIDIA's GTX 1650 Super at $159. They will hardly come near the GTX 1660 Super at $229, which finally makes the RX 5500 XT a very unappealing card for all people seeking to have the best deal for their money this budget. Meanwhile, at the mid-range, the rivalry is somewhat broader. The AMD's beefier Navi versions can more than hold their own against the two GTX and RTX versions that NVIDIA can provide right now. The RX 5600 XT at $279 performs considerably better compared to the similarly priced GTX 1660 Ti at $279 as well, all of them while keeping up with the initial RTX 2060 at $349, albeit the updated RTX 2060 Super at $399 generally has the upper hand. Following that, the RX 5700 XT at $399 can just outperform the RTX 2060 Super in precisely the same price point, but could also keep up and even outperform the priciest RTX 2070 Super at $499 in sure matches. However, because we reach the high end, it's the same old story. NVIDIA pretty much has a monopoly here because their most recent RTX 2070 Super, RTX 2080 Super, and RTX 2080 Ti are now the most effective cards in the marketplace today. Though the RX 5700 XT can compete with the RTX 2070 Super, AMD now has nothing which could challenge NVIDIA's flagship cards. In conclusion, NVIDIA has taken the lead so far as budget alternatives are involved, but AMD is supplying more considerable rivalry from the mid-range than previously. While they now don't have any high-end cards, the large Navi is predicted to fall sometime in 2020, and it's going to automatically level the playing area and deliver the high-end costs down to a notch. Remember that we employed MSRP pricing instead of functionality for reference when working on different GPUs previously. Both the functionality and the pricing will necessarily fluctuate slightly from model to model and from game to game. If you are in the market for a new graphics card at this time, you may want to look at our range for the most excellent graphics cards of 2020. Be aware that we do our very best to maintain our purchasing guides current, so if you become aware of some outdated information, the guide is probably criticized for an upgrade in the not too distant future. To sum up, AMD is way better. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the two videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.